What's up, folks? This is Shane Nelson coming at you hot with a great shofar blast of warning for one Nehemiah Gordon, who I believe to be a false teacher based on
I
this.
want that I don't look to Yeshua as the Messiah, and that really hasn't changed. I believe strictly in the Tanakh, the Old Testament. However, my understanding of who Yeshua was has changed.
Though he might be very elegant and very knowledgeable of Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, prophetic Hebrew, whatever you want to call it, there are scriptures in the Brit Hadashah that tell messianic believers to stay away from people like that. They are treasonous, they are heretics, they deny the king, and there is no excuse for them. As smart as Nehemiah Gordon is, I'm surprised he hasn't figured it out by now that Yeshua really is the Messiah. And because of his great knowledge, there is no excuse for him, and there's no excuse for messianic believers to be chasing after heretics, and I've got the scriptures to back me up. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Second John chapter 1 verse 7, for many deceivers have gone out into the world, those who do not confess the coming of Yeshua HaMashiach in the flesh. Such a one is a deceiver and an antichrist. Second Peter chapter 2 verses 1 through 3, but false prophets also arose among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you, who will secretly bring in destructive heresies, even denying the master who bought them, bringing upon themselves swift destruction, and many will follow their sensuality. And because of them, the way of truth will be blasphemed, and in their greed they will exploit you with false words. I think Nehemiah Gordon absolutely is exploiting the messianic believers. He's selling books, he's selling DVDs. Nobody else will give him a format to speak on other than messianics, which baffles me because there's plenty of other messianics out there who read Hebrew, who understand everything Nehemiah Gordon understands, but people want to chase after him. He denies your king. He denies the person that died on the execution stake for you. He is treasonous by standards of the kingdom of Elohim. First John chapter 4 verses 1 through 3. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world. By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua HaMashiach has come in the flesh is from God. And every spirit that does not confess Yeshua is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard was coming and now is in the world already. Second John chapter 1 verses 7 through 11, for many deceivers have gone out into the world, those that do not confess the coming of Yeshua in the flesh. Such a one is a deceiver and an antichrist. Watch yourselves so that you may not lose what we have worked for, but may win a full reward. Everyone who goes on ahead and does not abide in the teachings of Messiah does not have God. Whoever abides in the teaching has both the Father and the Son. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not receive him into your house or give him any greeting, for whoever greets him takes part in his wicked works. There's no excuse for Nehemiah Gordon. With all of his vast knowledge, he rejects the Messiah. He rejects our King. He is on the opposing side. First Timothy chapter 6 verse 20, Timothy, guard the deposit entrusted to you. Avoid the irrelevant babbling and contradictions of what is falsely called knowledge, for by professing it some have swerved from the faith. John 14 verse 6, Yeshua said to them, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Jude chapter 1 verse 4, for certain people have crept in unnoticed, who long ago were designated for condemnation, ungodly people who pervert the grace of our God into sensuality and deny our Master and Lord Yeshua HaMashiach. Romans chapter 16, verse 17 through 18. I appeal to you, brothers, to watch out for those who cause division and create obstacles contrary to the doctrine that you have been taught. Avoid them, for such persons do not serve Yeshua HaMashiach, but their own appetites, and by smooth talk and flattery they deceive the hearts of the naive. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 3 to 5. If anyone teaches a different doctrine or does not agree with the sound words of our master Yeshua HaMashiach and the teaching that accords with godliness, he is puffed up with conceit and understands nothing. He has an unhealthy craving for controversy and for quarrels about words, which produce envy, dissension, slander, etc., etc. You guys get the picture. 2 Timothy chapter 4 verses 3 to 4. For the time is coming when people will not endure sound teaching, but while having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions, and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths. Gospel of John chapter 15 verse 4. Remain in me, and I will remain in you, just as no branch can bear fruit by itself unless it remains in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, and you are the branches. The one who remains in me, and I in him, will bear much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. John chapter 8, verse 19. Where is your Father? They asked him. You do not know me or my Father, Yeshua answered. If you knew me, you would know my Father as well. John chapter 14, verse 6 through 7, Yeshua answered, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. Just because Nehemiah Gordon understands several great mysteries of ancient scripture does not mean he is saved. Salvation does not come by understanding knowledge or having great mysteries. It comes by faith in Yeshua HaMashiach, which clearly Nehemiah Gordon does not have. All I've seen Nehemiah Gordon do is take Yeshua, put him in a box, close the box, and stamp it Karaite. That is blasphemy. There is no reason for us to heap on ourselves teachers that deny our King, Yeshua. Because by denying Yeshua, he's denying the entirety of the kingdom of Elohim, and he rests only in his puffed up knowledge. This is Shane, out.